Disney's Chicken Little. The game I made a video on where I talk about why I thought the gameplay was trash didn't just have one version of the game, because after some research, apparently there was a Game Boy version, and it was completely separate from the PS2 and Wii version. What did I find? Well, in this video, I'll be going over what I found, and that is the movie that can't transform into a game. Technically, two games have attempted to transition the movie of Chicken Little to a game format. The console version and the Game Boy version. They both failed. What the console version did, as I said in my original video, was that most of the content was filler levels. Most of it didn't happen in the movie, and a lot of it didn't even relate to the story they intended to tell. Now, I think the reason they chose this route is that Chicken Little is in general a hard movie to adapt. Well, faithfully. As the movie is only an hour and 20 minutes long, with only a limited number of potential scenes that could be put into a game. That's why I think whenever a game studio tries to adapt it, a lot of it isn't even faithful to the movie. Stuff is added to make it more entertaining and interesting. I mean, look at all the different Chicken Little video games. Almost all of them remove some elements from the original and placed it with something new. As a lot of those elements only involve Chicken Little running or cowering away from something, which I think none of these games really built off of. They usually put Chicken Little or the characters around him into situations that made them the aggressors, not the one being aggressed upon, like in most of the movie. As shown in the movie, Chicken Little is too small to stand up to the bullies and is too small to stand up to the aliens. He doesn't affect anyone physically throughout the whole movie. He couldn't, even if he tried. But in the games, he does affect things physically. Whether it's people twice his size, or metal robots 5 times his size, his little yo-yo can do all the damage in the world, making him the brave hero that he isn't. That's why it never really pans out to feel like a true adaptation. Chicken Little in the games doesn't feel like the same Chicken Little in the movie. Let's go over the adaptation problems the Game Boy had. Right from the get-go, the first problem emerges in the tutorial. You start inside the chicken's house, planning to leave for school, but as you may have it, the door is locked by a bunch of journalists, trying to get pictures of the chicken himself. Now I wonder why this level was added, as this scene was deleted from the movie and the goal of it was so ridiculous. The whole level is you trying to open a garage door. I know this is the tutorial, but goddamn, the level should have been chicken trying to dodge a journalist, not trying to open a garage door. So after that, we transition quickly to when the actual movie began, with Chicken Little running his way to school. This time, instead of whatever these things are called, the enemies you mostly come across are journals. They were a good concept for enemies in the context of the intro. They made sense, only this doesn't at all fit with the movie, as Chicken Little never really struggles with the journals of the town. He doesn't even get his picture taken off once. He struggles with everybody inside the town. Nobody likes him. His father doesn't even like him. Not even did the enemies not relate to the movie, Chicken Little is once again doing the attacking. He is given a yo-yo to slap around his enemies, which isn't Chicken Little's character. Regular characters have a fight or flight response. Chicken Little only has the flight, or at least that was shown in the movie. He is the wimp of the school that everyone makes fun of, which the developers didn't give a crap about because immediately after the first level, Chicken Little again is put on the aggression. In this version of Chicken Little, he actually fights back against Foxy and Dodgeball, which is never shown in the original movie. He never even threw a ball. The only aggression he had was when he stood up for himself, and immediately after that he is put in his place by the wild goose. In the game, like the console version, your goal is to win the dodgeball game, which doesn't accurately reflect the actual movie. Why pretend like Chicken Little is actually secretly athletic, when you can just create a level where your challenge is avoiding the oncoming dodgeballs, so it accurately reflects Chicken Little being the punching bag that he is. That would be a good solution to resemble the source material. Well, what about the other sports in this movie? What about the big game? Well, at least you gotta hit a game-winning home run. Wait, you don't? The baseball level actually had nothing to do with baseball? It's just another level of a bunch of urinals trying to get your picture? Which never really happens. I think that after a year of the incident, people would just move on. It feels like I'm playing as some famous guy from Hollywood, trying to avoid all of these paparazzi nutcases. Because in the movie, nobody wants to talk to Chicken Little. Everybody, for the most part, tried to avoid him. Now, at least we were told that he won the game somehow, because for the next level, the fill levels return. You sidetrack from the main story and play as Ace. Not in the actual world, but in their own fictional movie inside a theater. Now, just like Ace in action, the missions I must complete are in a fictional property inside of a fictional property. The biggest problem with this is that they don't affect the actual world Chicken Little is in. It has nothing to do with the current story being told, and has nothing to do with the characters that are in that story. So in essence, you as the player could skip through this theater part and miss nothing at all. And what bothers me the most is that the movie didn't even exist at that time. It was created because Chicken Little saved the world, not before. This movie wasn't planned until Chicken saved the town. Do they remember that the movie was originally going to display Chicken Little as the crazy chicken they all thought he was? I mean, it would have been more interesting if instead of playing as Ace, you had to place Chicken Little inside the Crazy Chicken movie. It would have made a little bit more sense and would have offered something new to the franchise. Did any of the developers watch the movie? I'm assuming not. Remember Runt's brave driving with the fire truck, helping Chicken and his dad make it to the church? Well, in the game, that level is called Race. I'm not kidding, just race. You race in a circle, hoping that you complete the level in a certain amount of time. Oh my god, this is just like the movie. Look at how closely resembling it is. Wow. Feel like I'm living in the Chicken Little movie. For the conclusion, Chicken is sent to the mothership to defeat the true boss behind it all. Sounds vaguely familiar. This level just seemed like an Ace level, as the final boss was the most sci-fi thing in this game and had nothing to do with the original ending. If you want to compare this game to the movie, it is just a complete mess. Now that the story beats matched up, the characters didn't act the same as they did in the original, and like the console version, some of the missions you had to complete had nothing to do with the story. This game will just be another Chicken Little property that nobody will even know existed, as the game doesn't meet to today's standards and there is almost nothing remarkable to this game. The story didn't line up with the movie, and the replayability of this game gets incredibly boring fast. Or maybe perhaps the fault could be put on the source material. I don't know. Maybe what we can all learn from this is just not to adapt something that sucks, because it certainly doesn't help any of the surrounding properties. Or maybe just a thought, if you're not going to follow the source material faithfully, maybe you should just use a different story for your game. If you disagree with me, tell me how I'm wrong or what you thought ruined the adaptation. I'm open to other people's opinions and suggestions. Oh yeah, and one last thing. Thanks for watching.